So, unless you're living under a rock, you probably know that Ash Ketchum, the protagonist of the Pokémon anime, is leaving after 25 years of being the protagonist. I have to say, it's absolutely crazy as someone who's been following Ash for all these years. To see him finally leave is just, it's insanity. It's like actually insane. So to commemorate Ash's journey and send him off properly, Pokémon has decided to make this little 11-episode epilogue series called Aim to Be a Pokémon Master, at least in Japan. We don't really know what the dub is going to be called yet because the dub isn't out at the time this video is being recorded, but it's a little epilogue series about Ash figuring out what it means to truly be a Pokémon Master. And it's kind of mid. And I'm not saying that in a way where it's bad. It's not bad by any means, but it's just more of the same. The same stuff we've been watching for the past 25 years. Again, it isn't bad by any means, and if you are enjoying this series, that's great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But for me and a lot of other fans, it just feels really unsatisfying after waiting 25 years for this guy to be given a proper conclusion. And so today, since I'm seen as the guy who rewrites everything for the Pokemon anime, I decided that I'm going to rewrite Aim to Be a Pokemon Master. And that's what this video is going to be today, a full rewrite of the Aim to Be a Pokemon Master epilogue series from the Pokemon anime. Now, there's just a few things I want to clarify before this video goes on any further. First of all, this is not connected whatsoever to my Xenoverse Pokemon rewrite series. If you're new to the channel, I have a Pokemon rewrite series which started with Black and White, and currently I'm working on Sun and Moon. It's a whole big project I've been working on for years at this point, and this is not connected whatsoever to that series. This would take place in canon right after Pokemon Journeys in the mainline timeline. This has no correlation whatsoever to my Pokemon rewrite series. Second of all, I'm going to be changing the amount of episodes in this rewrite from 11 episodes to 12 episodes, just to help out with the pacing. And finally, let me know what you guys think about this rewrite and what you guys would do differently in the comments down below. Let's get right into my rewrite of Aim to Be a Pokemon Master. Episode 1. Call to Adventure. Ash returns to Oak's lab, reunites with his old Pokemon, and reminisces about his journey. Gary then shows up, and he and Ash have a battle, Charizard versus Blastoise. Just like in the Johto League, Ash wins. Gary asks Ash if he's a Pokemon Master now that he's become World Champion, and Ash honestly doesn't know. Oak then comes out of his lab and tells Ash he's still young, has a long future ahead of him, and has time to figure this out. Ash takes some of his Pokemon with him and decides to travel around the world one last time to figure out the answer to Gary's question. Episode 2. Ash and Misty. Ash arrives in Cerulean City to meet up with Misty. Misty and Ash reunite, and Ash vents to Misty about what is happening. Misty tells him that he'll figure it out. After all, he's the world champion. If the silly kid she met all the way back then can do that, then this is nothing in comparison. Team Rocket disguises themselves as gym trainers and eventually tries to steal Pikachu. They use their old Gen 1 Pokemon, but Misty uses Mega Gyarados and drives them back. Team Rocket retreats, and Misty leaves her gym to her sisters and travels with Ash again to help him find out his answer. Team Rocket receives a message from Matori saying to lay low, as it's time for Team Rocket's biggest operation yet. We see Giovanni, the boss of Team Rocket, go down to a secret lab where a confined Mewtwo is held. Episode 3. The Doctor and Connoisseur. Ash and Misty attend a summer festival while in Johto, where Ash reunites with Silent, who has set up a Pokemon evaluation stand at the festival. Silent and Misty meet for the first time, and Silent says he's almost done with his stand and will join them as soon as he's done. After finishing, Silent joins Ash and Misty and tells them he wants them to meet a friend of his. It ends up being Brock. The three old friends catch up, but eventually some Pokemon start to feel sick. Ash and the others assist Brock and the medical staff with the virus that's quickly spreading throughout the festival. While Brock aids the Pokemon, Silent enters detective mode, saying that someone must be behind this. Misty stays with Brock while Ash goes with Silent to figure out the culprit behind this virus. Silent and Ash, while out, have a chat, and Silent says his goal hasn't changed. Even though he's now become an S-Class connoisseur, he wants to become something even more, and Ash encourages him. They eventually find out what's behind the virus. A Garbodor is on a rampage, trying to protect its ill child. Its waste spread to the festival, and its toxic waste affected some of the Pokemon there. Ash then battles the Pokemon with Oshawott and Noivern and eventually calms it down. Silent brings the Pokemon's child back to Brock, who heals it, and the day is saved. Ash, Misty, and Brock say farewell to Silent, who goes off alone. The three original companions then decide to travel the Pokemon world together one last time. Episode 4. Spotlight. May, Max, and Serena. Our group is now in Hoenn, more specifically Petalburg City, and this is where Ash and Brock reunite with May and Max. Max is almost ready to begin his Pokemon adventure, and it's revealed that May is now on her way to becoming an even better Pokemon coordinator. This is when a loud commotion is heard from a crowd nearby. Ash and the others go to find out that Serena took up Lizia's offer to become a Pokemon idol. She's now a super popular star. She and Ash reunite, and our group then decides to hang out. Ash and the others decide to practice Pokemon coordinating with May and Serena for fun. Ash hopes to see how far they've grown, and if it will help him answer his question. They have a lot of fun together and then decide it's time to hit the hay, and so Ash and the others head to a nearby hotel. Ash and Serena share a heart-to-heart that night, where Serena says that becoming an idol has helped her realize what Palermo meant by making people smile the way Aria does, and she says that soon she's going to go back to Kalos to participate in showcases once again. Ash addresses her feelings for him and tells her that he doesn't know how to feel about them, and perhaps he'll have an answer for her once they become older. Ash, Misty, and Brock can say farewell to the others as they continue their world tour once again. Jesse, James, and Meowth return to HQ and see an army of Team Rocket grunts preparing for something big. Matori then shows up and tells them it's finally time for Team Rocket's conquest of the world to begin. Only a few more weeks. Episode 5. The Ruins of Sinnoh. Our group has arrived in Eterna City where they meet up with Dawn, who already knew of their arrival. Our group then runs into Cynthia and Cedric Juniper from Unova. They're doing a combined expedition to some nearby ruins, which supposedly showcase the original forms of Dialga and Palkia. Our group decides to join them. While on their way to the ruins, the Sinnoh group reminisces on their Sinnoh journey and how far each of them have come. Ash is now the world champion, Brock is becoming a renowned Pokemon doctor, and Dawn is working closer and closer to her dream of becoming a top coordinator. The group makes it to the ruins and encounters many booby traps and many other challenges. But eventually they reach the center, where a mural showing Dialga and Palkia's origin forms reside. Cynthia says that although she's a champion, this is her true calling, which gives Ash further insight to his question. Our trio says farewell to Dawn, Cynthia, and Cedric, and continues their journey. Episode 6. Atop Her Throne. Our trio arrives in Oberlucid City, and Ash has decided to visit Iris. Iris and Ash reunite, and when they return to the gym, Ash is surprised to see none other than Go, who is visiting Iris as well. Go tells Ash he's learned much about Pokemon in the world, and has grown more as a Pokemon trainer. Ash and Go have a battle, Cinderace versus Lucario, and Lucario wins. Iris looks on and wonders if she's becoming weaker, and that she won't be able to keep up with everyone in the future. She brings this worry up to Ash and Go, and Ash requests a battle. They have a battle between Crocodile and Haxorus, and Iris wins. Ash reassures Iris she can keep up with everyone. She's the strongest trainer in Unova, and she'll continue to grow stronger and reach new heights. The trio says farewell to Iris and Go and continues on with their adventures. Episode 7. A Mega Pact Rematch. The trio arrives in Lumio City. Ash has decided to pay Clement and Bonnie another visit. However, Clement is battling with none other than Alon when Ash arrives, who has decided to re-challenge the Kalos League. Brock and Misty meet Alon, Clement, and Bonnie for the first time. Ash tells Alon why he's on a journey, and Alon states they should have a battle to help Ash out. Maybe it would get him closer to his answer. Just then, Ash has a connection with Greninja, giving Ash the idea they should redo their final battle at the Kalos League. Ash makes his way into the forest where he and Alon reunite with Greninja, and then return to the Lumio's gym to have their rematch. Their battle is really intense, with both trainers giving it their all. After all, they've been waiting years for this rematch. Brock and Misty experience the epic clash for the first time, and in the end, Ash wins and thanks Alon for the battle. Greninja then says farewell to Ash once again, and Ash tells Greninja no matter where they are, they will always share a connection. Ash then says farewell to Clement and Bonnie and continues on with his adventure. Episode 8. The Will of Alola. Ash, Brock, and Misty decide to spend some time in Alola and stay Kakui in Burnett's place. Ash reunites with all of his friends from the Pokemon school, besides Sophocles, who is still at home pursuing his astronaut dreams. They all host a surprise congratulations party for Ash. Ash has a lot of fun, but then hears the cry of Tapu Koko, and he follows the Pokemon's shadow to the ruins of Conflict. Ash reunites with Tapu Koko and tells the legendary he did it. He became world champion, but something inside feels empty. He doesn't know whether or not he's become a Pokemon master. Tapu Koko simply nods as it leads Ash inside the ruins where all 4 Island Guardians reside. The 4 Island Guardians dance around Ash, and Kakui and the others catch up to witness the sight. Kakui says they must do it out of respect for Ash or to congratulate him on his win. Ash remembers how much he loves Alola and realizes how many people in Pokemon he's helped in Alola and the world. Ash thinks he may be on the crux of figuring out his answer, but he tells everyone there's one more person he needs to visit first. The next day, Ash says farewell to Kukui and Burnett at the airport. The trio then sets off for the Galar region to visit Leon. Ash, Brock, and Misty arrive at Wyndham Stadium, where they watch a match between Leon and Raihan for the title of Galar Champion, and Leon takes home the win. Ash reunites with Leon, and Ash asks Leon if they can go out into the wild area to do some training. Leon, of course, agrees. The two arrive in the wild area. Leon tells Ash he's doing everything he can to make sure the next generation of trainers have a chance to enter the spotlight, to reach even greater heights than he did. That's his goal. That's his purpose as a champion. Ash takes all of this to heart. The two train for hours and enjoy each other's company. Ash then reveals why he asked Leon to do this with him, and Leon tells him that he already knows his answer. It's been staring him in the face this whole time. Ash agrees and now has finally figured out his answer, what it means to be a Pokemon Master. The next day our trio heads back to Kanto, because Ash has finally found out his answer and now has to let Gary know. We then see Giovanni unleash Mewtwo's constraints. It's completely under Giovanni's control. Giovanni then tells the grunts behind him to activate a machine, and it hits Mewtwo, reacting to the stone around its neck, and a giant burst of energy then occurs. And a Mega Mewtwo X stands before Giovanni when the smoke clears. The time has finally come. Team Rocket has obtained the strongest Pokemon in the world, and nobody can stand in their way. Episode 10, Team Rocket Strikes Back, Part 1. Ash and the others arrive back in Kanto, specifically Saffron City, and decide to go back to Pallet Town to end this worldwide adventure. Just then, a bunch of giant explosions occur throughout the city, and not only there, but everywhere around Kanto and Johto. All the gym leaders look on to see an army of Team Rocket grunts marching into their cities with armies of Pokemon. Lance and the Elite Four have been cornered at the Indigo Plateau. Giovanni then shows up beside Mewtwo, telling Lance this is a new dawn, the dawn where Team Rocket will rule the world. The Elite Four send out their Pokemon and begin a battle against Giovanni and Mega Mewtwo. Meanwhile, Ash and the others take on the grunts in Saffron City. Ash sends out Infernape and Lucario and leads a charge against Team Rocket, and the assault forces retreat. Ash then gets a call from Gary, who tells Ash this is happening everywhere on the continent, and tells Ash he was able to protect the people of Pallet. He tells Ash his systems are picking up a massive energy reading at the Indigo Plateau, far greater than anything he's ever picked up before. Ash decides he'll head over there alone. Brock and Misty beg Ash to let them go with him, but Ash tells them to head back to Pewter and Cerulean. The entire region needs protecting, and right now their hometowns need their assistance more than Ash does. Ash then flies away on Charizard and heads towards the Indigo Plateau. Back at the Indigo Plateau, the Elite Four's Pokemon have been defeated. All that's left is Lance's Dragonite. A battle between Dragonite and Mewtwo commences, but Mewtwo quickly overpowers the Pokemon, leaving Lance defeated. Jessie, James, and Meowth look on at the sight, questioning why they joined Team Rocket. If everything they did was leading up to this, they don't want to hurt people. Why? Why is this happening? Just then, Ash arrives on Charizard and stares Giovanni down. Giovanni recognizes him as the world champion and tells him no champion is strong enough to take down his Mewtwo, the strongest Pokemon. Ash declares he will stop Giovanni and free Mewtwo from his clutches. Episode 11, Team Rocket Strikes Back, Part 2. Ash sends out all of his Pokemon he has on hand, which consists of some of his strongest, and the battle begins as they all take on Mewtwo. The battle is intense as Ash's aces use every ability they have against Mewtwo, and it seems to be weakened a little bit, but is still overpowering all of the other Pokemon. Eventually, Mewtwo unleashes a massive burst of energy, knocking out all of Ash's Pokemon besides Pikachu. Pikachu was having trouble standing, and in this moment of weakness, Giovanni explains that he created Team Rocket for one purpose: to take over the world. If the entire world is his to control, he can do anything he wants, free from society's chains, and accomplish all of his ambitions. Ever since he was a little boy, all he wanted was that sense of freedom and accomplishment, and now that dream is in reach. He tells Ash it won't stop with just Kanto and Johto. Mewtwo's power will illuminate the entire world, and everyone and everything will come under the control of Team Rocket. Before Mewtwo can deliver the final blow, Wobbuffet gets in the way and mirror codes the attack, and Jessie, James, and Meowth stand in front of Giovanni and Mewtwo, saying that this is wrong. They didn't sign up to do this. And more importantly, Ash is their friend, and they won't let Giovanni hurt him, even if he's their boss. Ash is in awe, and the four of them then begin a final assault against Giovanni and Mewtwo. Team Rocket eventually distracts Mewtwo long enough for Ash to pull off a 10 million volt Thunderbolt, which directly hits Mewtwo. Due to all the damage it has taken beforehand, this knocks Mewtwo out of its hypnotized state, and Giovanni starts to panic. Mewtwo is about to attack Giovanni, but Ash begs Mewtwo not to hurt anyone, and he swears as world champion, he'll do better to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. With his secret weapon gone, Giovanni has nothing left, and he declares that Team Rocket is disbanded. The police then arrive on the scene. Ash shares one last farewell with Jesse, James, and Meowth, who finally address him as Ash. They share a hug as Team Rocket declares from now on they're going to live the lives they should have always lived, no longer chained down by Team Rocket. Final episode, The Climb. With the Team Rocket crisis over, it's time for Ash to complete his final journey, and he meets up with Gary, who tells him he wants to hear his answer at the tallest point in all the world, Mount Silver. The two friends climb the mountain, which is full of trials and tribulations, but Ash, remembering all of his adventures, his Pokemon, and his friends who helped him along the way, allow him to push forward. The two eventually make it to the very top of Mount Silver and are in awe at the view. Ash then finally tells Gary his answer. Ash tells Gary that from the moment he started his journey, he was already a Pokemon Master. A Pokemon Master is someone who can connect with all different types of Pokemon throughout the entire world, help them connect with others, get them out of depressions, and help them reach new heights. This whole time, his whole adventure, Ash has been doing just that. And so, he's realized that his adventure hasn't been him progressing towards becoming a Pokemon Master, but him realizing he was a Pokemon Master since the day he left Pallet Town all that time ago. Someone who cares about Pokemon. That is what makes a Pokemon Master. And so not just him, but most of the people he's met embody what it means to be a Pokemon Master, and everyone should be proud of that. Gary is shocked, but satisfied with Ash's answer, and tells Ash it looks like his long journey has finally come to an end, and Ash agrees. Just then, a giant wind gust blows through the peak of Mount Silver, and Ho-Oh, the Pokemon that appeared before Ash on the first day of his journey, stands before him. Ash realizes that Ho-Oh must have been watching him all this time, waiting for the day he would come to this realization. Ho-Oh then flies away, leaving Ash contempt. After all, he's finally become a Pokemon Master. Ash and Gary descend the mountain and make their way to the outskirts of Pallet Town, and Ash returns home one last time. The series' final scene would be at the Indigo Plateau, where a young Pokemon trainer would approach the world champion, Ash Ketchum, who would now be older. Ash smirks as he sends out Pikachu, and the battle begins.